Crosstalk, the unintentional transfer of signals between communication channels, a casual conversation.
Hello world, this is Video Game Crosstalk episode 033. I am your host Anthony Rossi, and with me this episode are the vendors from the Empire State Comic-Con 2019. I was able to walk around the show floor this past year and had some awesome conversations with some awesome people. So let's get right into it.
Well, it's not good for audio, but that does give you a hint of what's going on behind the scenes. And right now, I am behind the scenes with the New York City Ghostbusters. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Rocking and rolling, baby. It's Saturday.
Yes, day 2 of the Empire State Comic-Con. And I was able to talk with you guys briefly last year. Unfortunately, I was stuck behind a vendor booth of my own. So this year, I was just wandering all over the place. I'm going to be chatting up all sorts of people. But one thing that I really enjoyed about your setup from last year, and I see you brought it back, you've got all sorts of fun little science experiments going on. So why don't you tell me about that real quick?
So we're running our slime lab, which right now what we're doing is we're encouraging children to learn all about polymer science and creating their own slime, and they get to bring it home and hopefully not get in each other's mouths.
God willing, we'll see what we can do about that. But this is kind of the stuff that I've been talking about in other episodes of trying to bring science to the masses. Like, yes, let's learn about polymer sciences. No kid wants to learn how to make slime, on the other hand.
Yeah, I mean, you see it everywhere. You see a lot of places now doing, like, make your own slime. We've had a couple of days with, like, I know how to make slime. I made slime before. But it's one of those things where you can kind of, like, make them think about, okay, like, yeah, this is fun, but we're also doing something that's kind of interesting, and what you're making is something that you deal with on a daily basis. Making them, and I always make the joke when you're done with it, you're at a convention, comic book and stuff like that, but you're actually doing physical science. There's a chain reaction going on in a little plastic bag to kind of bring that little bit more knowledge to them. So, when they talk to their friends being like, oh, I know something, I learned something that was kind of interesting and new that, they might not have known before coming here.
Which is pretty awesome. So can you give me like a brief rundown on how this slime lab actually works?
Yeah, so it's very straightforward. We walk them through a preset measured set where basically we encourage them to do measuring with water. We walk them through all sorts of steps. We actually work together as a team. We emphasize that Ghostbusters always work as a team and that everyone needs to go at the same pace regardless of speed. And then at the end, everyone ends up with their own slime that they get to just bring home. But yeah, we have a whole step method, and we've tried a lot of different slime recipes, and this one seems to be the best one that sticks with us.
Nice. And you seem to have the system down pretty well. We have 4 setups, like all identical instruments and vials, I guess we'll call them. So this is the New York City Ghostbusters. So explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's actually Ghostbuster fan groups all over the world, and we are the New York City branch. So we're based out of doing New York City events, and we've actually gone a little further. We've done Philadelphia, and now we're in Albany.
Boston, you came and helped out the Massachusetts Ghostbusters in Boston.
We have several times helped out the Massachusetts Ghostbusters in Boston. We've actually helped out a Connecticut group. We might be helping out the Ontario group soon.
Oh, a little inside info right there. It's potential things to come.
It's Canada and the United States. We got to work together, making stronger bonds, all that stuff.
Yeah, we've collaborated a lot with a lot of other Ghostbuster groups. We've actually given a tour of New York City to the Die Geisterjäger, which is the German Ghostbuster group, and
nice.
Yeah, they had a blast. We drove them around in the Ecto.
You got the Calgary guys came down too, right?
Oh yeah, Calgary, the Calgary Ghostbusters from Alberta, Canada.
And there's got to be nothing like driving around New York City itself in the Ecto.
I have to say, last year, was it last year? Yeah, maybe almost 2 years ago now. Me and my girlfriend at the time went down to New York City. And that's where they met Ryan. We were supposed to give us like a walking tour, so we had our flight suits ready to go, and then he surprised us with the Ecto. And when I mean you're driving through Times Square and you're driving down some of these streets and you're in the Ecto, people stop and stare. Then there's other people being like, oh, it's just everyday New York. Like, yeah.
You know the people that literally run into the street as you're driving an active vehicle. Right.
Yeah, because New York City is something different. I live up here in Albany, but I've had family who've lived in New York City, and New York City is basically a day trip if you want to make it. And it really is a different culture, and walking through particularly the subways, you're going to see some stuff. And people are just not going to react.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've definitely ridden the subways a lot. I actually got stopped once by the Port Authority police. They were concerned about my Proton Pack, even though they knew I was just clearly a grown man, just like Ghostbuster. They had me actually sit down and open it, so I had to sit down and open my Proton Pack and prove that, yes, it was just a prop. And then, of course, you know, the cops was like, all right, you can go ahead. And then later on, someone came by and said, oh, Ghostbuster, can I take a picture with you? I'm like, sure. Just got to put my Proton Pack back together. And then I did that. I'm like, oh, do you want to be in the photo with me? And she's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, okay, cool. You see that officer over there? Why don't you have him take a picture of both of us?
And that's totally normal. Like that, people would not bat an eye regarding that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not, you know.
I mean, it's funny, too. It's where, you know, and the good thing about working with these guys is that we do our holiday party every December, but we also then go down to Hook and Ladder 8, where the firehouse, and we bring them goods and stuff like that. And they've never turned us away.
Oh, beautiful.
The one thing they've always said is, like, just don't park the car in front of the doors in case we got to fly.
In case an actual emergency comes through, yeah, let's keep that. We're still operational here.
But I don't think they've ever turned away someone from photos or just talking to the fire department. A lot of them are just happy, like, they could help out and take these photos and just talk to them. So
Yeah, every year for our holiday party, we go to a restaurant across the street from the firehouse, and we, as a group, collectively get like a bunch of stuff to bring to the firefighters, be it like foods. They love like marinara sauce and all that sort of thing.
Hey, everyone loves a good
I
sauce.
was going to say, it's New York City and, you know.
But, you know, and then last year we rose, and this year again too, but last year we rose money for the Trinity Place shelter in New York City. We ended up raising $2,500 for them over the year. This year we're trying to do that as well. We're raising money for them right now for that as well too.
Fantastic, guys. Any last words regarding your organization?
I know, not really.
No. Okay, so where can we follow you guys around, the social media stuff?
So you can follow us on Facebook. Just look up NYC Ghostbusters. You can also follow us on Instagram. We're very active there. And those are the best places to reach us as well, too, through Facebook Messenger.
All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me.
No problem, man.
Thank you.
All right, so this is a little cozy. I'm actually behind the booth this time around. Get to see all the chaos I have is behind the scenes. And this time I am joined by Steven Najarian.
That's right.
Thankfully, I was able to pronounce that correctly. That's really embarrassing, especially when you have your name like a big sign behind me. It's like, you should probably get that right. So Steve, how has the con been treating you so far?
It's been going good so far, you know, so.
It's picked up a little bit since last night?
Yeah, definitely. Friday's always kind of like usually like the slow, like scope out day. Saturdays where people actually start, you know, making purchasing decisions, so.
Yeah, definitely. It's more of like, all right, who's got what before I spend all my hard-earned cash? Let's see what we got going on. And then by the time, either later in the night on Friday or around noonish, possibly, people start to make purchases.
Yeah, right around 11, 12 is when people usually start. There's a little burst, then it kind of like drops down because everyone's like going to lunch.
Yeah, the lunch rush.
Now like lunch is kind of over. Definitely people are being more comfortable buying stuff, so this is a good time. Let's like extend this.
Awesome.
The day.
Awesome. So what are we selling here today? What we got going on in this booth?
So I paint a lot of fantasy art pictures. I do lots of paintings of dragons, castles, snowy mountains. I do stuff based off of Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. I have a big association with Magic the Gathering. A lot of my work looks very like Magic and D&D themed.
It very much does. So where I'm standing right now, I'm counting really quickly 5 dragons, and each one very unique in their appearance and very thematic with all of them as well. Care to describe any of them in particular?
So the 5 that we're looking at right now are I'm doing a series of elemental dragons.
And that will be the reason for the for this series. Okay, awesome.
So yeah, I started this lightning dragon was the first one I did. It was really popular. I was like, all right, well, I need to do like a sister to it. So like it's blue, red and blue go really well together. Let me do like a fire dragon. Let me like make him coming out of a volcano, make it lava. And then it kind of just kicked off from there. I was like, all right, well, how many elements up with and do? Because people seem to really like it. So,
And you know what? Fine. Now we have a theme going. We have variations on the theme. We can work with this.
yeah, exactly. And the what I'm starting to do now is create mirrors in specific pairs. So like the lava dragon, and I just finished an ice themed dragon. So those two are specific to properly mirror each other.
Oh, and now that you mention it, so I'm looking at them right now, and when we say that the dragon's coming out of a volcano, we don't mean it's kind of like flying out of a cave in the side of a mountain or something. This thing is kind of writhing out in a serpentine curve, and it's super majestic. It looks pretty awesome. And now that you mentioned the whole mirror thing, I'm looking at the ice dragon on the other side, and okay, we're gonna...
They're reversed behind me so I can see what the hell.
Yes.
When people are like, oh, I like this one, I'm like, which one is it? What do you like?
Yeah, right. Yeah, awesome, like snowy, icy mountain thing going on, and they are almost exact mirrors as far as the arc of their spine, chest, body, torso. We'll go with that.
Yeah, the hands are in relatively the same place.
Yes.
The heads are in similar positions. The wings are doing the same thing. So like, it's not like I just like reversed it and then painted it blue. There are definite differences between the two, but I did have like this image open next to this so I could make sure that the mirroring would match as well as I could.
Very cool. So things other than dragons, what do we have here?
Lots of castles and epic landscapes.
Very cool, very cool. All right, so where can people follow you around on social media?
You can follow me on my website, nigerianart.com. Also, Instagram, Steven Nigerian. Also, I stream all of my paintings live on Twitch, which is Steve's3511.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so I am at the Red Hydrogen, I guess I'll call this the demo booth for some new awesome technology, or at least technology that is now available at the consumer level. Hey, who am I joined with?
This is Brad.
Hello, Brad. How are you doing so far?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. So you've got a beefy looking smartphone in front of me with some headsets. Can you please describe what we have going on over here?
Sure. We're looking at the Red Hydrogen 1. It's a new smartphone from Red Technologies. You may know our parent company, Red Digital Cinema. We basically are the biggest, baddest, camera in Hollywood. Wanted to get one of our big cameras down to a consumer level, and the best way to do that is obviously put it in a smartphone. So that's what we did. The phone has the ability to take a magnificent 2D capture, but one of the fun things we had it do was give it the ability to also capture and show content, what we call 4V, which is basically 3D without glasses. And the basis of that is we're pushing light fields around.
Very cool. So you just gave me a demo of this, and as I said once we got done, like, I'm a believer. And 3D has been around for a while, but you always required those big, clunky, and quite frankly, kind of painful to wear glasses.
Yeah, so the idea with this, again, like I said, is we're messing with light fields. So we're giving the screen, the device, the ability to show 3D, give it real depth, and let it stand out some as well without having to do the eye separation with the glasses. Because that's why 3D TV and everything ultimately failed, because nobody wanted to wear the glasses.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there were accommodations all over the place. I think Sony was pushing it really hard for a while, but everyone had to have a pair of goggles to just watch a movie. And I don't know how cost prohibitive it was. I'm guessing it clearly was, but just the annoyance of, oh, wait, I need to find my glasses. my 3D glasses in order to watch content. And being able to fit this into a smartphone is, quite frankly, pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the technology itself it's scalable. So, in time, we could go to tablets. We could maybe go to TV. I mean, the technology is there. Not saying that that's something that we're even looking at yet. But, yeah, in the smartphone realm, we're very comfortable there because of, most kids now, 14 to however old, are taking in most of their viewing on smartphones. They're not people our age still want TVs, but most kids don't even care.
Yeah, it's native technology for them. This is what they grew up with. This is probably the first electronic screen that their parents will hand over to them, and you can bring it everywhere with you. But what's cool about it, I think, is basically on the smartphone level, we've got a proof of concept here. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So, and like you said, it's scalable, so it's just not that we're going in that direction, but there's the possibility, it is plausible that it at some point either you or someone else might be able to scale it up. So, awesome. Where can people find out more about this?
Okay, obviously go to our website at Red Hydrogen and look. You'll find us. It's the Red Hydrogen 1, or you can go to your local AT&T or Verizon carrier store, and they will have it. It's a carrier store is more of a company store. No authorized dealers. Those are like the franchise guys. They don't have it. But if you go to a company store in your area, you should be able to get your hands on one and play with it.
Ooh, and I am on Verizon, so we'll have to look into this. All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That is one good thing about this thing. It just keeps the levels right where they are, so I could just start up at any time and we're good, go. So this time around, I am with Art and Comics by E. Hanby. How you doing?
Doing great.
How's the con been treating you so far?
It's been going well. There's a lot of cool cosplayers here.
There are, and we got a Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange coming down the aisle. They've been wandering around quite a bit. But they're always really cool if you ever want to take a picture of them.
Oh yeah, I saw a Rocketeer just now. Really cool helmet.
I missed that. I'm gonna have to go see if I can find.
Right over there.
All right. Oh, and there he is. Okay, fabulous. I'll see if I can get a picture before they run off too quick. Yeah, seriously though. All right. So what are we selling here at your booth?
Well, I've got my original comic, Black Peak. I've also got illustrations, zines, patches, and stickers.
Awesome. So tell me about your original comic.
So Black Peak is a sci-fi psychological thriller, and it's about a space trucker who goes on a long haul, buys an AI to keep him company, and everything goes terribly wrong.
And then shenanigans ensue. Awesome. So what else do we have going on here?
Well, I do have a lot of fan art prints. Really popular this year is Sashomaru from Inuyasha. I just got him done in January, and people have been going nuts for him.
I am unfamiliar with this character. Could you go into some detail?
Yeah, Sashomaru is the villain in Inuyasha's first part, and he starts to become kind of a hero in the second half as he takes in an orphan and helps her out along the way. And he's really kind of like the original heartthrob for many young teenagers.
All right.
Yeah. So aside from the fan art, I've also got my own original art, and I have my own original characters. People love the ones with the tigers and the leopards and the ladies. So come on by and you can take a look at all the beautiful art I've got.
Fantastic. Any plans at the moment for another original work such as Black Peak?
Well, I am actually working on a new comic. It's called Whitewater. It's also a science fiction comic, but it's more of an adventure comic. It's about three friends finding the thing that's most important to them out in space.
All right, and just to go back into Black Peak one more time, this is a fully contained story, correct?
Yes, the story's completely done. I've got a fully published graphic novel for sale at my booth and online in my store. And it's free to read online in the unupdated version. So you can take its sample for free, and you can get the better version in my shop. And the same is true for Whitewater. That's free to read online as well.
All right, awesome. So why don't we finish this up with just plugging some of the social media contacts?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is the same on both. It's Hanby Design.
Awesome. One final question, coffee or tea?
Tea, absolutely.
Any particular type?
Earl Grey, hot.
I was at the Star Trek Con here last year, so yes, there's plenty of that going on as well. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hey man, because this is live recordings. This is how cons work, right? I try to be conscious of like the fans and stuff coming up. Like, I know I'm just like the hobbyist, so I'll make room.
There's no such thing as just being the hobbyist, because you're also a hobbyist yourself too. With a microphone and a recorder, you're also a hobbyist.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm now joined with Evolution Comics. What's going on, my man?
What's up? My name is Hash. I'm the owner, artist, and creator of Evolution Comics. I'm also a co-owner of the Artist Club.
Fantastic. So, please explain what we have going on your table right now.
Well, what we do is we do art distribution for artists who have 9-to-5s, who have a hard time going to conventions. We will carry their art and we'll distribute their work, and we'll create. Actually, we will help them with their branding and their name.
That is fantastic. As someone who has a 9-to-5 himself, these are services people really need, because you got responsibilities, you got bills to pay, and you don't want to keep your art on the side. But until you can get to the point, like, this type of help is really appreciated.
Well, this was something I learned from the Winter Twins back at San Diego Comic-Con, and it all went down to writing. And it was a writer's panel. You write, and you never stop writing. Like, an artist draws and never stops drawing. But you find a way to build your name. You make your hobby into your new 9-to-5, if this is what you want to do. Keep your 9-to-5, but then keep drawing. Don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you love, and it'll eventually become yours.
And this is one of the great things about these cons and geek culture, because you can do all this stuff, and while you're doing your 9-to-5, until you can, have your art stand on its own, because it's such a beautiful and amazing creative outlet.
It's more than just being a creative outlet. It is reimagining.
There you go.
I'll just say, for example, you can take an actual photograph of your favorite wrestler, and you were never happy with the background looked like, but you like the image that the wrestler had, and you just reimagine what they would look like later.
Hey, that's all part of the fan art, and just...
Here's the best example. Stan Lee. How many Stan Lee photos have we seen?
Clearly many.
Right, but then when he was with the Watchers, we made Stan Lee dress as one of the Watchers. Reimagined Stan Lee.
It's fantastic. So, what other cons have you been to and had booths at?
Oh, I've had a table at San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, several tables at Awesome Con, Dragon Con. I mean, the list goes on and on.
The list goes on. You've pretty much been everywhere.
Well, we pretty much do over 30-plus shows a year. If it's not me, there's a team of us that will be at other shows.
All right. And you had mentioned an organization that you were involved with. Can we get back to that?
Oh, yeah. We have the Artist Club.
Fantastic.
So it's similar to Evolution Comics, where we do distribution, but with the Artist Club, we will promote you. So let's also say that I don't have a Gambit poster. Well, we'll send that fan to your table who has a Gambit poster. So while I'm not making a sale, the next artist is going to make a sale. So we're doing a whole team where everyone is there to make money, and no one's sitting there bashing each other, saying he's a better artist, I'm a better artist. No, we are part of one team. We're artists, and we're going to help you make the extra dollar too.
And really, that's the best way to succeed, when everyone else is helping everyone else at the same time.
Well, it's hard. Look at all the Funko Pops tables that everyone has to deal with. You tell me those vendors aren't telling other vendors where a certain Funko Pop figure is? I don't think so.
Right. All right. So where can people follow you around?
So you can follow me at ARASH Evo on Instagram, and you can follow me at Evo Comics Inc. at Twitter, Instagram, and all other social media outlets. Or you can follow artistclub.official for all of your Artist Club needs.
Awesome. One final question.
Yes.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, man. Well, coffee during the day, tea at night.
All right. Thank you so much.
I got coffee now, and this is on my second cup.
All right. Take care.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, moving down the line, I am now joined by another artist, Jay Kennedy. Jay, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, how are you?
Doing fantastic. So, Jay, what are we promoting here today?
The Argonauts by AR Comics.
Oh, yeah, I know it happens all the time. Jay just showed me the cover art of the book. Audio only, but hey, it happens all the time. I find myself doing, even when I'm recording, I start making hand motions to describe what I'm talking about, and I'm actually doing that over the internet without video, so I'm just kind of making motions to the screen. It happens, my man.
Yeah, right. That's what I did.
So, tell me a little bit about the Argonauts.
It's kind of a space adventure. It's Jason and his crew trying to find the Golden Fleece to rescue one of their teammates, and magical mishaps happen on the way.
And silliness ensues. I also see something else we got going on here. Sleeplessness. What can you tell me about Sleeplessness?
It's a horror comic that mostly takes place in New England. It's an anthology series, all done by me alone.
Really? Okay, so how many issues do we have out so far?
About 5, give or take.
All right. Plans for more?
Yeah, definitely going to be working on the next one now.
Awesome. I also see we got a few of the sketchings going on. What type of other art do we have here?
I just like to paint and draw, honestly. So if there's a commission out there, I'll do it.
Awesome. All right, man. Final question: coffee or tea?
I'm a tea guy.
How do you take it?
Usually, however.
Usually, however. Okay. I lied. One more question. Where can people follow you around on social media?
They could just Google me and my website should come up. Jay Kennedy. It's a Wix site. It's called Jayism. It's just.
All right. Google will take you there. Thank you so much, Jay.
Thanks.
So far, so good. Yeah, it's been a blast. And now I am joined with Sean Carlson. Sean, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. The day has definitely picked up. Even since I started doing these interviews, like maybe an hour ago, just making my rounds, and I can already sense more people have come through in the past hour. Do you get that as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's always an ebb and a flow to the conventions. Usually right around now is when there's a pretty good crowd coming around and you see sales pop up a little bit, and then towards the end it starts to wane a little bit.
Love them pops in the sales.
Exactly right. That's right, yeah.
Okay, so Sean, what are we promoting today?
So I'm promoting myself and my artwork. Sean Carlson Art on Instagram, and like you said, we're here at Empire State Comic Con, and just promoting me, myself, and I.
All right. So why don't you give us a little rundown of some of the art that you've been working on?
Sure. So everything I've got here, most of my stuff uses the splatter effect quite a bit. You see that a lot throughout my work in one form or another. I'm a big fan of Jackson Pollock, if you're familiar with his art at all, and just sort of the kinetic energy. All my art should kind of look like it was just sort of thrown on in one big burst, even though it's very painstakingly slow and time-consuming to do.
Yeah, I'm looking around. You have a nice large piece of work. What material? That was canvas. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's an original. It's acrylic on canvas, and yeah, that one. Let's see, how big is that? I should know off the top of my head.
It's more than 3 feet. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's a good. Let's see. It's probably a good 4 feet tall by about 2.5 feet wide. Big Captain Marvel painting, obviously for the new movie with Brie Larson coming out.
Oh, absolutely. And I was flipping through your art book a little while ago, and you have a lot. It's not just the splatter going on. You have a half and half thing going on. Want to explain that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So in incorporating the splatter effect, I'm also, anytime you can get the hero and villain, alter ego, different sides of the same coin, I'm really interested in those sort of relationships. The Batman and Joker, I think, was the first one that I did in that style. and they so perfectly mirror each other. I was just listening to an interview the other day with Neil Adams. We was talking about the similarities between the both of them, of neither one of them having powers. And
Okay.
yeah, both, just the idea that they both kind of had one bad day, which was the idea in the Killing Joke, was Gordon's. He put Gordon through sort of that one bad day, and Batman came out of that with, you know, a desire for justice and to hopefully do good, and Joker went the opposite direction, but they both are linked by that idea, that moment of just one bad day and it changed their life.
So, have you caught the latest Joker trailer with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes, I have, and you know what? He's a character that I never quite wanted a definitive origin for. I always liked the idea that he just sort of was spawned from the ether. He's sort of this elemental, pure chaos or evil kind of force. That being said, the trailer looks awesome, and I can't wait for the movie.
I know.
Yeah.
So I've joked many times, I don't know how many times on the actual podcast itself, but the fact that I came into comics much later. And I do not have time for 50 years of Captain America backstory. So I'm not going to do the same for Joker and Batman. So I do not know personally the full whatever origins were established in whichever alternate universe of that comic.
There's a lot there. Yeah, there's a lot there. But yeah, like you said, it's Detective Comics is just hitting its 1000th issue now. So, you know, if you wanted to maybe quit your job, take off for a couple years and read through all of that, you can catch up in a little while.
Yeah, we'll get there. It just takes a little effort, sure.
Yeah, but no, that's one thing that they've done pretty well in the comics. Like I said, outside of the Killing Joke and maybe a couple small origins, in the comics there hasn't really been a definitive. It's kind of the way they took it in The Dark Knight, where every time he tells his story, it sort of changes. There you get that little bit of a peek behind the curtain, but then it's shut right away and it's kept as a mystery.
Yeah, I did enjoy that, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people follow you around?
So you can find me on Instagram, Sean Carlson Art, SeanCarlson Art. And my website, SeanCarlsonArt.com.
All right, and final question, coffee or tea?
Oh, tea.
Tea this time.
Never, or iced tea I like. Never been a coffee drinker. The smell, the taste doesn't do it for me.
Just not for you. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
All right, so this is actually a previous guest on the show, but we're gonna have a chat anyway since he decided to come out to Albany. Ray, how you doing?
Doing great. Been enjoying the weekend here in Albany. It's a great little town. Now, I have found that everything closes down fairly early here.
Yeah, that kind of happens.
You got to work on that a little bit, but always a pleasure to be here.
Well, we are technically the capital of New York State, but we are not a major city at the scale of New York City.
Right. Well, I noticed that too. Like Friday, there was actually activity, but Saturday and Sunday, when everybody leaves, it seems to be a little bit quieter. So.
Yeah, and we do what we can. We do what we can. So this is actually day 3. I just got out of the cosplay contest. Some amazing cosplays that came through here today. So we're in the winding down hours. Kind of like everyone's kind of getting their last purchases, getting their final autographs. How has the weekend been for you?
It's been really good. You know, I'm not really here to sell a lot, but really display a lot of the stuff that we talked about before, a lot of the 3D printed props and finished pieces, but a lot of interest, a lot of connections, a lot of networking. People really appreciate the art, they appreciate the costumes, and, you know, I have no complaints.
And actually, just done. I mean, I did not mention this. You actually have a booth today, or this weekend.
I do. It's my first foray with the full table. And display. So hopefully this will be the first of many to come. And it sounds like, based on some of the reception I've gotten from the con organizers, that it should be. So.
Well, I mean, you've got a heck of a spread. When we were talking on the show last, you were mentioning how you're making all the little bits and pieces. And we do have like a full Fallout pharmacy over here on the table. Would you like to care to mention a few of the items that we've got today?
Yeah, so I did all the med kits, the Fixer, the Mentats, Rataways, blood packs, all the bottled products like the Cat Eyes, the Radexes, and so forth, Psychos, Stim packs, you name it, we've got it. I'm basically the Walgreens of the wasteland.
Really, though? Yeah, you get. I can talk good, I swear. But I see some 3D printed curved pieces. What's going on over here?
So those are lithophanes, and what that is you basically take a high-resolution image, you run it through some software, and then you create a 3D print of it. It doesn't look like much, but if you put a backlight behind it, the black and whites of the photo create the different depths of the plastic. So the light coming through captures the image. So it's been an eye catcher because people walk by, they look at them and they're like, they don't look like much, but then you show them how they work, and they've been really popular this weekend. So
nice.
It goes back.
Absolutely. So let's take a little walk over here. So what are some of them that we've got? I see the please stand by waiting screen.
Yeah,
That's pretty iconic at this point in the
That
series.
one's been fairly popular. We also have, the War Never Changes with Dog Meat and the Soul Survivor there. I've got one that's the NCR Ranger, and if we look over here, you get the full detail.
Oh, there it is. So we're holding it up to the window right now. Again, plenty of light, and now we can really see. Well, there's a lot of detail in that.
It's amazing what gets captured here, especially the higher resolution the image, the better the detail. But you can see the lettering of the flag comes out. You can even see like where the shine off the helmets are too. We have the Vault Girl. I have the Capitol, because I had to have one with a Capitol building in it. So the Fallout 3,
sure.
With the Capitol building in the background and the Brotherhood of Steel in the foreground.
Speaking of like iconic characters, I mean, Vault Boy, sure, but the Brotherhood of Steel, they just look badass in every sense.
It really, and it's actually on my list of things to do at some point. I actually want to do a full suit. So this weekend I did debut a light combat armor fusion between the Captain America First Avenger and the Fallout universe, which was really what
that was pretty awesome.
So Brotherhood of Steel is on my list now. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but it's definitely one I think it's just going to be one of those show-stopping kind of things. And even if I'm not wearing it, I'm hoping I can just display it.
That would be cool too. That's what you need to do. You need to get a full rack and hang up like a full like Brotherhood of Steel power armor set because well, that would take up your entire booth area.
We'll figure. Well, then I just need an excuse for another table.
Well, then there are solutions if you're willing to look for them.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking one more time with me.
Thank you for having me again. We'll talk soon.
All right. I don't know. We're just talking. We're hanging out. We're at the Empire State Comic Con. It's the final day of the con, kind of winding down.
Yep.
And we are now joined with Matches Malone. Matches, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Or should I call you Bruce?
You can call me Matches Malone or Batman or Ding Batman.
Ding Batman?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, just to make the laughs.
You know what? We're going to go with that. All right, so Ding Batman. What brings you to Empire State Comic Con this year?
Empire State is a great con. Lots of great locals come out, visiting the celebs, the cosplayers, the artists, vendors, a lot of great people.
So how long have you been cosplaying as Ding Batman?
Oh,
I'm going to keep it going.
I've actually been doing this a very long time. I've been cosplaying Batman for 26 years this May.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Congratulations.
Comic shows before there were Comic Cons, and I was the only one suited up, and everybody's like, yeah, this guy's a little bit weird. I'm like, you think?
Well, yes, but continue.
Well, considered, a guy dressed like a bat definitely has issues, right?
Right. We'll start with that just to begin with.
Exactly. So, I mean, I got more issues than Batman's got comics, so it's like...
Well done, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, one last question before you skip. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Going to tea? What kind do you take?
Earl Grey.
Hot?
Hot.
Of course.
Yep.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so now I'm hanging out with Toying Around, a fun little toy store. Well, maybe not so little toy store. Over in Johnstown?
Yep.
And I am joined by?
Vinny, owner.
How you doing, Vinny?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I was just mentioning to the last person I was talking to, I just got done with the cosplay competition, and there were some pretty impressive ones that have been coming through this con. So how's the con been treating you so far?
Good. I think we had a good turnout. I'd have to say my favorite cosplay was the Green Ranger so far. Did you see him?
Yes, I did. That was pretty awesome. Ended up for winning some of the competitions was Junkrat and this amazing Nebula. Did you see Nebula walking around?
No. I remember last year they had Alien. Did you see the Alien? that was
Yes, I saw Alien.
I would come back again.
That was twisted.
Yes, terrifying.
I only was taking still shots of that, so a flat image just did not do it justice. I should have gotten video.
Oh, I just should have got that guy's number. Does he do weddings?
I don't know, but I think we should go find out.
Officiate weddings.
All right. So one of the main reasons I'm coming over to you is you have an event coming up. Why don't we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, it's the day before Mother's Day. It's May 11th. It's on a Saturday. It's from 10 to 4 p.m. Pretty much closing down 2 blocks and doing like a Comic-Con and a fair. It's free admission. There's going to be face paint, balloon house, dunk tank. Bruce the Bar Beefcake will be signing autographs. There's going to be a magic show. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be the kit car from Knight Rider.
Nice.
The Jurassic Park entrance. So you can see like the main gate to Jurassic Park.
Oh, nice. That's going to be fun.
The Bat Boat. I'm sure we'll add a few more surprises.
You
There's
got a
just so
whole
much
bunch
stuff.
of vehicles coming through.
Yeah, big costume contest. The adults can win $200, kids can win $100.
Oh, nice.
We got a band on the main stage. We got a DJ in the middle in the road. It's
You are shutting it down.
Oh yeah, I mean we're putting banners up and down the street. You know, it's pretty big.
And I was talking to you yesterday. You do a good amount of work involvement with the local community, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of work with the local community. Like in regards to like the event, we're doing all proceeds for the bounce house and the dunk tank. At a certain point, once we cover what it costs for it, all the proceeds will go to the homeless for the food pantry. And then I do a lot of work too with Ronald McDonald House Charities, which will be set up there collecting donations as well. I've worked with Make-A-Wish, doing like my cosplay for the turtle suit. I don't know if you see me wearing that.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I will be wearing for about an hour or so during the event, running around,
All right.
taking some photos real quick. But yeah, I do that for the, and get involved in charity. So I try to do as much as I can.
All right, and I also will be there. I'll be setting up a booth, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to other vendors, guests, cosplayers, random people that have something interesting to say. We'll see how it all goes down.
Oh my gosh, there's gonna be so many people you can chat with. We got have you met the Montreal X-Men that are gonna be there?
Yes, I have. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they'll be there. We got lots of sketch artists. I brought some sketch artists from out of the area that are really good, artists that can, do stuff right on the fly. We got bead art, with that 8-bit bead art stuff.
Right. I like the pixel art type stuff.
All sorts of stuff. We had a lot of good stuff in.
All right, cool. All right, so one last question. Coffee or tea?
Neither.
What?
Gatorade.
Gatorade. All right, whatever works for you, man.
Those electrolytes, man.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, nice. Okay, let's just keep it moving. So this time I am now hanging out with the Bags brothers, yes?
Yes.
So who am I joined with?
It's Sean Bags. I do the colors.
And Jake Bags, I do the pencil and ink.
Awesome. So how long have you guys been doing artwork?
Since forever, but doing it at this type of level where we're kind of coming to conventions and selling it, we've been doing it for about 3 years or so now, yeah.
Somewhere around there?
Yeah, somewhere around there, on and off,
Okay, so I got an art book open in front of me. You care to describe what we're looking at?
So what we have here, this is our comic that we're working on. It's called Dances in Exile. Best way to be described is kind of like a science fiction-y, Game of Thrones-y type of vibe, families and all that type of stuff, houses. Maybe like a bit of a saga vibe in there as well. But yeah, we're in the very beginning stages of it. In our book today here at the convention, we've been showcasing the first 2 to 6 pages of it. And we should have something online, like a webcomic, in the next couple of months or so.
So is this your first comic book?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're working with a gentleman out of New Jersey. His name is Delfino, and he's the writer of it. He's also the inker on the project. So yeah, my brother does the pencils, he does the inks, comes back to me for the colors, and then it gets sent back to him for the lettering and everything.
So for someone who's just recently got into comic books, this is another one of those times where there's a lot of stuff that happens in the background.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff. There's Delfino also does some of the concepts, so him and Jake are working on that together.
Storyboarding comes from him via email, and I basically interpret what he does on his storyboarding and then try to chew it up and, spit it out in my own way, basically, without taking away too much from what the original designs were.
Well, I would suppose you have what the writer wants to have happen. So, yeah, we got that. But someone else is more talented art-wise, so to speak, and just like, all right, here's what I want to have happen. You know how to make things come alive. Do it. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. Pretty much, yes. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, cool. So what else do we have for sale at your booth?
We have a variety. We're pretty big into D&D. We have a variety of characters. You got your Beholder, Barbarians, Elves, things like that. Dwarf is our most recent print that we've done.
That is a fierce-looking dwarf right there with a nice glowing, I think it's lightning, but a nice Arctic backdrop for it as well.
It's like almost like Thor's hammer thing going on there.
Absolutely. I see a few video game things. So we have a few for Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, we're pretty big Binding of Isaac fans here. Yeah, we have a couple of those. We've obsessed thoroughly over that game for a few years now.
I also see a little Metroid over here in the corner.
Yeah, that's Jake's take on the original Metroid cover art.
Oh.
Original NES, from the,
1986.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just basically a comic book cover rendition of the 2D side pixel art.
Oh, now I see it. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so where can people follow you guys around on the interwebs?
So we are on most social media. It's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are Bags Brothers Art. And we also have our site, www.bagsbrothersart.com.
And we will be live streaming on Twitch fairly soon, so stay tuned for that. We will be doing live drawings, potentially some video game playing on there as well, but mostly it'll be drawing tutorials and everything that we're working on currently for cons coming up and just basic busy work that we have currently.
Sneak peeks on the comic and everything like that. You get to see the comic being made and things like
that. Oh, very cool behind-the-scenes experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, final question for both of you. Coffee or tea?
More coffee.
And how do you take it?
Black.
Just straight up?
Straight up and in large quantities.
Beautiful. And yourself?
Large black coffee, nothing.
We are of kindred spirits. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, thanks, man.
We're in the last day of the con, the winding down hours, right?
Correct.
All right. So now for the video game crosstalk portion of this. Hour and a half, yeah. Okay, so I am over. Are we Nerd Aggregate or are we False Minds?
The table here. We are Nerd Aggregate as a streaming group, but we are here as False Mind Studios for the con.
So that would be this guy.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I'm going to do any talking, but then I'm going to take it over.
We are Nerd Aggregate. We are two parts of Nerd Aggregate, but here, this is False Mind Studios, yes.
Okay, we'll talk about False Mind Studios first. So, False Mind Studios is what exactly?
False Mind Studios is just it's me, basically. I've just been drawing for a long, long time, and now it is multimedia, basically. I'm on Twitch.
Join our Discord server.
Yep, join our Discord where I'm at cons. It's just, you gotta have a fancy studio name, and that's just what we picked.
I dig. Business got to do the whole gimmick and all that other fun stuff. Branding. There are all sorts of online courses for free that they then have to pay for later on branding. Yeah, because that's business. So that's how they.
Yeah.
So what kind of art do we have today?
It is mostly fantasy art. I've got a little bit of sci-fi stuff, but 90% of it, I guess I shouldn't rotate around like that. 90% of it is just fantasy. Some of it's OC stuff, dragons, monsters, but it's a little bit of fan art too.
Okay. And we also have this awesome, I'll call it a magnet board over here.
Yeah, so the magnets are mostly for display, but we do sell those. It's a great representation of pins because it's made the same way, but it's also kid-friendly in that they can pull it off and they can't poke themselves with it.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Important.
Very important. And what I think is fantastic is you have your little magnet maker, I guess we'll call it a little stomper for these right on site?
Yes, a button vise from American Button Makers. High quality, die cast, delightful.
So last time when I purchased one of the magnets from you guys, I was like, hey, I'll take this one, and I'm about to put the one from the display like in my pocket, and you're like, nah, man. And it's just like, thunk, 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 here you go.
Yeah, well, when everything is out and we're ready to rock, it's 30-second process, give or take. A little longer if you're getting multiples or if we don't have all the stuff ready. But when it's like rush time, we'll try to let people just take them off the board. But
Can you do pins with that thing as well?
Yep, that's what it originally was for. Any of the 1.5-inch stuff from American Button Maker we can do on that. So it'll also do like lanyard backs so that you can actually have a thing right here.
Oh, nice.
All sorts of other kinds of little weird tchotchke stuff.
All right, so what is Nerd Aggregate?
Nerd Aggregate is our streaming group. It is myself, Kraken, Altarian, and Charade are the 4 members currently. And we, long story short, we're just like a variety show. You know, we're going to try to just keep expanding it. It's delight.
Yes, so it is the group of us, and we started out originally we were going to do a podcast much like yours, but just be like nerd news, and that kind of evolved into doing Twitch kind of streaming and stuff like that. Instead, we saw one of our buddies, Altarian, was already streaming. He's a speedrunner, or was a speedrunner.
All right.
And so we decided, hey, Extra Life is coming up, big 24-hour long streaming charity event. We could do that. That's easy. So we did. We raised $400 our first year.
Oh, nice.
And then we've done that every year since, and through that we evolved into just doing more and more streaming. Now we have a show live on our channel every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then between the rest of us, there's a show from a Nerd Aggregate member every day. Every night somebody is generally streaming from the group.
Very cool. All right, so we'll wrap this up real quick. First we should discuss, where can people find you on the interwebs?
So easiest place for me would be www.twitch.tv/falsemind. Also on our Discord, which is linked there, or falsemindstudios@gmail.com.
And then for anything Nerd Aggregate related, just go to nerdaggregate.com, and that'll redirect you directly to our Twitch page, which has links for everything.
All right, and final question, coffee or tea?
Both.
Both?
Had both today.
Fabulous. And yourself?
Tea only.
Tea only. What type are we going for?
Black.
English black. Okay. All right. Thank you guys very much for joining me. These conversations are about as formal and classy as I am. So,
Make sure I do what you need.
well, we are just here to talk about what the vendors have here at the Empire State Comic Con. We're in the last just over an hour of the show, and it's winding down. And now I am with STL Ocarina.
Yes, that's me.
And why don't you? So what is STL? How about that?
STL is St. Louis.
Okay, fabulous. just wanted to be sure.
No worries, no worries. And I design and sell ocarinas, basically. Most famous from Legend of Zelda. They're really fun and play all sorts of fun songs on them.
And we have quite the collection and variations. I see definitely no less than 20 on the table without really pointing and counting. And they are all of beautiful, unique designs. Looking at, in particular, what is this one model?
So the name of it's the Nebula.
Okay.
And the idea with these ones was to make a kind of architectural design to show off an actual gemstone.
Oh, nice.
So we've done turquoise, moonstone, and amethyst on those ones.
How about this guy?
Both turquoise.
Okay. I know rock. My wife is going to be my wife is a geologist, and she's just going to be shamed. Well, she doesn't listen to this podcast much anyway, so I should be safe. We have some other elementals. I see fire over here.
Yes, we actually have a full elemental set. There's 7 pieces in total, so I'm missing earth and ice right now.
Okay.
They form a complete Italian choir, so all different keys.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what keys do we have represented here?
We have a soprano C, an alto G, alto F, tenor C. The ones I'm missing are a baritone G and a baritone F, and then a bass C here.
Oh, nice. And we have some other themed ones. We have it looks like dragon scale, but I see, what is that, labyrinth or ember?
It's the ember here. So this one's part of our legend series. They're all based on mythical creatures. So this is a dragon, obviously.
Yes, all right. And we do have the Green Ranger dagger, which
the Dragon Zord.
all sorts of fun stuff. And also, what I think is probably the coolest part of it is we have songbooks.
Yes, lots of songbooks. We're always coming out with new ones of that. Our newest one is actually Kingdom Hearts.
Awesome, for obvious reasons.
That was necessary. In fact, the only reason it took so long is I was waiting for Don't Think Twice to come out, so I needed that song in there.
All right. So yeah, all of them just look great. And how old is the ocarina as an actual instrument?
It is an ancient instrument. Almost every culture has their own. The oldest ones are about 12,000 years old from the Aztecs.
Wow, okay. And so obviously I need to request a song. No song is coming to mind. While I was walking over here, there was a most recent Doctor Who standing, and we did the Doctor Who theme, so that was fabulous. Artist choice, whatever.
I mean, usually Zelda's a pretty safe bet. You want me to do a Saria song?
Let's do that.
Okay, ready?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So where can people find all of this awesomeness online?
Well, online, our website is stlocarina.com, and everything you see here is available online. We also do a lot of other cons as well, if you happen to be around anywhere, really.
Okay, I was going to say, well, we're over here in Albany right now, and if you're out of St. Louis.
Well, we do cons all over the country. So
Fabulous.
I'm going to be in Chicago next weekend, for example.
All right, cool. Final question. Yes. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What kind?
I like chai a lot, but I go all over the place.
All right, thank you so much. All right, and go. I am over with the Albany, Empire Game Expo Retro Gamer Con booth, I guess we'll call this, and I am joined by
Nathan Grant.
And I'm going to drag you in here too.
Pat Milligan.
How you guys doing so far? We got an hour left in the con. How you feeling?
Ready to go home.
Ready to go.
Nothing against the con. It's been a fantastic con, of course, but 3-day cons, working the booth. Being charming is exhausting, isn't it?
It's very tough.
That's exactly it.
All right, but specifically I'm here. We have another con expo coming up in July, yes?
Yep, July 13th.
90 days, something like that.
Not like you're counting down or anything.
No, of course not.
It's getting down to it. We're getting the final stages of planning now.
So it is going to be the Empire Game Expo, and it is going to be at the Red Lion Hotel.
Yep, that's over on Wolf Road, and we're really excited to bring a convention to the Albany area because we've been doing Retro Game Con in Syracuse for the last 6 years, so we wanted to bring something like that to the Albany area.
So this is going to be a little different than your usual Comic-Con because this is going to have more of a focus on gaming, yes?
Yep, that's correct. We are a video game convention first and foremost, but that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of crossover to a lot of those other exciting things you see at like Comic-Cons and anime conventions and stuff as well, but mostly games.
Yeah, the focus will be mostly on games, but there's cross-pollination and, crossover all over the place when we get into the geek culture type stuff. So what kind of things do we expect to see at the Gaming Expo?
You're going to see over 100 vendor booths, people selling everything from retro to modern video games, artists, indie game developers from the video game world and the tabletop gaming world. You're going to see panels presented by game industry guests. We've got voice actors, game creators, a huge free play area, over 50 retro through modern game consoles, vintage computers, arcade machines, pinball machines. There's so much stuff, I can't even think of everything.
Yeah, but will we have the super old school and try to get kids these days try to game on an actual Commodore 64?
There's going to be several Commodores there.
My God!
We can do our best. We can do our absolute best.
Oh, because some of the younger employees at my office, during one gathering, I heard them I overheard them saying, because I can talk good, something about how Final Fantasy VII had the super retro low poly graphics. I'm like, there's in here, sonny.
You haven't seen nothing yet, yeah.
And I had a panel on Friday night, and I was able to joke about how I started my gaming on a Commodore 64. Yep. And I was rattling off the old school load text command of like, load A : open quote menu, comma 8, comma 1, and I had a couple people in the back. I saw them nodding their head. I'm like, yeah, there's my old school gamers. Yeah, you want to talk about, low res and only a few frames of animation? You have frames of animation in these days.
Exactly.
All right. So what are your favorite retro games?
Oh God, that's like asking me.
Just
like,
a few of them.
Food. I love everything. I've played everything, from the Commodore 64 era up till today. Still playing games today. More modern, but it's becoming retro because it's 2001.
All right.
Is Halo. That's like one of my biggest franchises that I go back and play all the time. Yeah. But I was raised a Sega person first, so
I can't talk to you anymore. I'm sorry.
I actually went back and played through all the Nintendo stuff much after I had played through Sega. So I have like a lot of nostalgia for Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that.
I'm going to give a much less wordy answer. I like the Super Nintendo, Super Metroid, Castlevania 4.
Beautiful. All right, guys, thank you so much. And one final question, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
How do you take it?
I take it any way I can get it.
Well done. And you, sir?
Coffee as well. I usually do it with just cream, no sugar, but I do enjoy sweet coffee from time to time.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, wait. Where can we find more information? I can't believe I almost forgot this. Where can we find more information on this con?
We post most of our info out on Facebook, so just search for Empire Game Expo, or you can go to egxalbany.com, and tickets are only $10.
All right. Thank you so much. Going to hit record and we're going to start this up. And I think this is going to be my final interview for this con because it's getting late. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, the best for last.
Obviously. But in all seriousness, you guys have been doing some amazing work in the capital region and supporting the geek culture and the cosplay culture. And I am speaking with some representatives, we'll say, from The Costumer. So please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Michaela, known as the Walking Mick Cosplay on Instagram and everything.
I'm Gabby. I have nothing special about my Instagram.
That's fine. But so the Costumer making appearances here at the Comic-Cons, and recently, I think back in October, was starting up as I'm looking back at the table, Cosplay Connections. So we talk about that a little bit?
So the Cosplay Connections nights are nights that we actually open up a space we have upstairs for 3 hours on Friday evenings. Anyone who wants to cosplay or has a local business can come in and just work together, learn from each other, promote each other. It's a really fun time. It's a great learning experience. We're starting to do instructionals as well.
Nice.
So if you have a particular thing you want to learn about, you can come and tell us, and we will host a night specifically for that and make sure everybody's happy.
Okay, so I have 2 cosplays that I'm casually kind of sort of working on in between chasing my little man around the house, which, he's a toddler. He does what toddlers do. But I did a casual Handsome Jack cosplay.
Ooh, Borderland. I'm into the post-apocalyptic looking thing.
Okay, yeah, because you're still dressed as Junkrat right now.
Yes, yep.
Which, by the way, award-winning.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, master's class.
Master's class.
Yeah.
So we just had the cosplay competition a couple of hours ago downstairs, and Junkrat wins the master's level.
Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing Handsome Jack, and what I'm having the most issue with is stuff that actually takes skill to create. So I've gotten jeans and I put a yellow stripe on the side. I was able to doctor up a gray jacket to have the Hyperion logo on the back. But what I need help with is creating the thigh holster for the pistol.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff. And also I've commissioned the trench coat to be made. For Sunny from Into the Badlands.
Ooh, oh yes, okay.
Your eyes are so big right now.
I love all these just apocalyptic, sword fighting and all that.
Yeah, all school stuff.
Yeah.
So I was able to get the trench coat for the Sunny, I can't remember the name of the house that it belongs to, but the Regent trench coat.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't watched it in a while.
Okay, the new season is on right now. Finally.
I need to catch up.
But what I'll need help with is the bandolier and the holsters. Basically, is what it is. We need to learn about holsters.
Okay, yeah, that would probably be under the props making courses. We would probably categorize that under EVA foam, teaching you how to use that, or Worbla. Really, it's universal. So.
Okay, so EVA foam and Worbla. Go.
Okay.
It's late. We're getting silly. Okay.
EVA foam. It's just foam, lightweight. We carry cosplay grade foam, so it's smooth on both sides. It heats up, flexible. It's very nice to work with, especially if you're creating a large item that you don't want to be super heavy.
Like your tire.
Yeah, that is only 4 pounds.
And that is a huge tire that you carry on your back.
It's 2.5 feet, I think.
Okay.
In diameter. And the Worbla is a solid thermoplastic material. So if you want to create something a little more durable, I would recommend it for armor or close items that won't be bumped into, or if they are bumped into, they will not break.
Okay, nice. And how often do we do these cosplay connections?
Currently it's once a month. But hopefully we will start bumping it up to twice a month, depending on how many people we get, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. And we have quite the spread on for the table. Care to describe some of the stuff that we have here?
So today we're showing off our Worbla, of course, a couple of our new products like the steampunk hats and accessories and masks. We also have awesome selection of corsets, Rockstar wigs, which are heat-sensitive cosplay wigs. They go up to 360 degrees, so you can style them.
Nice.
Some basic props if you want to modify, if you're not really into just doing everything from scratch, and some cosplay repair kits in case you run into a little trouble at the con. So we're ready.
So I'm also looking at the masks right now, these steampunk-ish masks. We have some spike studs coming out, and going back to Borderlands, I'm thinking Krieg right now. Because from an old Halloween costume, I do have the muscle shirt, the one that's got the puffy muscles on it, and I think some slacks and that, and I'm halfway there, right?
Junkrat, when I saw Junkrat, I thought Krieg at first, because shirtless dude who's crazy. I'm like, that's him. That's him. I absolutely love it.
All right. Awesome. And also, I just got to finish it up with one of the sentences that I never thought I would say. You were behind your table for your booth when I came up to you, and we're discussing, where should we stand? And I said, how about you guys come out in front, because I don't want to reach over some swords. Never thought I would be saying that sentence, but when you come to cons and you get into cosplay, that's a perfectly legitimate and normal sentence to say.
Absolutely. I've heard crazier.
I'm sure you have. So where can we follow either yourself or the costumer around?
So the costumer is on Facebook and Instagram at The Costumer. Pretty simple. We have 2 locations. Schenectady has one of them off of Union Street and one on Central Avenue in Albany. And if you want to find me, I'm the Walking Mick Cosplay on pretty much every social media.
Okay, final question. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What kind?
Green.
Okay. And yourself?
Coffee.
And how do you take it?
Black with a shot of vanilla.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for this episode. Roll the standard end of show plugs. You can find the show notes, which contain contact links for all the topics discussed for this and all previous episodes at videogamecrosstalk.com, as well as all the social media contacts and the occasional blog posts. Or you can follow me around on Twitter, Instagram, PS4, and Twitch at HyperSyntax, HYP3RSINT4X. Please don't forget to like, review, subscribe, and share this podcast all over your social media accounts, and we can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much every other podcast listening service. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I can be found at the next con, which will be Saratoga Comic Con at the end of April. See you there.